The Shepnaz Podcast begins now.
What's going on, everybody, and welcome to the Shepnaz Podcast. I am Zack, your host, here for everybody's favorite day that just so happens to land in the middle of the week.
Worship Wednesday.
Come on now, that button never gets old to push. Well, hey, if you know what we do around here every single Wednesday, we're going to talk worship, and we happen to have a friend of ours, a very familiar face here on the podcast today. If you've been around Shepherd at all, you know this guy, the one, the only, Joshua Nadiope. Let's give it up for him. Welcome in, my friend.
And I have to clap for you because you got my name right.
I did. It's only because I've got it wrong so many times. I've had to really.
I feel like every time I've been on the podcast, someone has messed up my name. So like I don't know how, but
all these white people don't know how to say my name.
Yeah, what's wrong with white people?
Gosh, man, jeez, the worst. Well, welcome to the podcast, my friend.
Thank you.
Very happy. Do me a favor, get right up on that microphone for me so we can all hear your beautiful voice.
Come on, I don't know if it's beautiful, but
it is.
I'll try.
It's beautiful because it's yours.
Oh yeah.
Well, welcome in, my friend.
Thank you.
Hey, so if you know Worship Wednesday, as I said earlier, we just talk worship stuff. And what we've been doing since Noah has moved on to a different position in a different church, that we have just been digging into meeting other worship leaders, not just from our church, from all over. But I figured today I wanted to talk to somebody that we have right here in-house that has a really cool story that's actually been stepping up and helping me a ton recently. Because as you know, we are looking for somebody for our Johnstown campus, and we have been fortunate enough here at Shepherd to have lots of people who are gifted, 1, 2, that have a call to lead worship, and 3 are just on fire for Jesus. And you meet all of that criteria, my friend. So thank you for stepping up, because upon release day, this past Sunday, I had the privilege of going on a little vacation with my family, which just so happened to land right after I preached 2 weeks in a row. So it feels really weird when you're doing like vocational ministry that you don't do your job for 3 Sundays in a row. Feels really weird, but I'm stoked that you're stepping up and helping, my friend.
Yeah, pleasure is mine. Pleasure is mine, man.
Love it. Well, I want to hear a little bit about your story, my friend. And I know we are recording this late, and so I don't want to keep you here forever. But I do want to know, and the people want to know, we've kind of heard some of your story, right? But not specifically for the worship thing. And so if you can't tell, you have a little bit of an accent on you.
Yeah.
Just a little bit. Where's that accent come from?
Oh, my accent comes from Uganda. So, like countries down there in Africa, in the continent of Africa.
Yes. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful. So how in the world are you sitting here at this table?
That's a very long story.
I know.
That's a very, very...
Tell me your whole life story in 10 minutes. I'm just kidding.
I cannot do that because it's very long. It's very long. But I'll tell you about worship.
Yeah, man. So I know this. Like, we know that because you've been on the podcast before, parts of the story that you have told is we know that you came from Uganda. You grew up essentially at Watoto, and you were part of the worship ministry there to the point where you were even teaching children, like choir and vocals, right? Like you were a teacher of children. So that's would you say that's kind of where your start happened, was there?
Yeah, definitely started in Watoto.
Yeah.
But
it was kind of your life.
but I feel like before the whole worship world came into like worship came into my world, I had a foundation of prayer. Yeah. So before I even stood up on stage before I knew I could even sing, I had a strong foundation in like prayer.
That's awesome.
I had a mentor, shout out for Uncle Dan.
Yeah.
I used to call him Uncle Dan, but he was like a father figure for me.
That's awesome.
But more than that, he was a spiritual leader for me. He was a mentor. So he got 12 of us and decided to like work with us spiritually and just like invest and pour into us. He's a deep man. I don't want to say he was, because he's still a very, very, very deep man.
Still there.
Yeah. So he he got 12 of us and really, really, really invested his entire life in us and just like poured into us. And like we grew a lot spiritually. So I feel like almost everything I know now or everything I am now as a worship leader kind of started there.
Right.
Like it started there because it was easier for me to like transition into worship because I had a foundation.
Right.
Because what is foundation? What is worship without that? You get what I mean?
Right.
Without a relationship with God.
Yeah. Which we see all too often now. It's like it starts with, oh, you're a talented singer. Like we need a singer at our church. Come sing.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's unfortunately rare to find somebody who's like, no, my foundation actually started with my faith being so deep. So that's huge. I'm sorry to interrupt, but that's
it's okay. Like I mean, a lot of people these days just look at it as something cool, and they're like, "Oh, I want to do that. I can sing. So can I join?" And you get what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, for me, I believe worship starts with a strong foundation, with a relationship with God, right? So that's where it started, and then one day, I was so interested in playing instruments, so I started with playing and like learning the acoustic guitar and a little bit of keyboard here and there, bass and all that.
Yeah.
I was a cool instrument guy. So at Watoto we had this like huge production.
Yeah.
Like it was for the youth, youth, I think young adults too, but mostly the youth. It was called Morph Production.
Okay.
So we had a Morph camp, and then after Morph camp, there was a production.
Oh, cool. Okay.
So we would come for the production, and then so I went to audition for instruments.
Okay.
Like, so a group of us from Watoto, from the kids from the Watoto villages, those guys are talented. The kids from the villages, those guys are talented. So we went to audition. Some of them went to sing, and I went to the instrument part. So we were able to go through our auditions pretty fast. Like it was like 10 minutes and we were done.
Oh wow.
So I decided to go look for my friends who were singing, who were doing auditions for singing. So I go in the room they were in, and they are like one person, like there was a girl who was being auditioned. So I go in, I sit down. Little did I know that the chair I was seated in was supposed to be the next person who was supposed to go up. You get what I mean?
Yikes.
I had never sung in my entire life. I mean, I kind of had traveled on choir, but I mean, that was like when I was like, 9 years old? It wasn't
You
like
weren't
serious.
practicing to solo.
Exactly. So I sit down, and this girl gets done. And she comes back to sit, and then everybody else looks at me. And they look at me, and I'm like, what? And they're like, you're up next. I'm like, no, I did not come here to sing.
Right.
They're like, if you did not come here to sing, you're not supposed to be in this room. So just come on. So I was like, all right, I'll give it a shot.
Right.
So I go up. They're like, choose a song, any worship song you know. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, I don't remember exactly which song I chose, but I started singing. Then they started just taking me higher. Like they're like, all right, that's too comfortable. Go higher. And I went higher. And they're like, go higher. And I went higher. So they were like, dang, you're savage.
You can get up there, man.
Yeah. Anyway, long story short, a lot of people who knew me were surprised. So they ended up giving me like 2 songs to lead.
Cool.
And this, like, if anybody knows this production, it's like the cream of the crop. Like the kids that sing in there are like,
it's a big deal.
Yeah. Like they are the cream of the crop. So I was able to get 2 songs to lead, and long story short, the person who was like kind of like my worship pastor in my like home area saw me sing in there, and then he was like, he came to me and was like, hey, I saw you sing, and I didn't know you could sing. So
And you're sitting there going, I didn't either.
yeah, he's like, we have rehearsal on Saturday. Do you mind just stopping by? Like, yeah, rehearsal for Sunday, like just worship for Sunday. Yeah. I'm like, okay, I will. So I show up Saturday, and he's like, oh yeah, like, hey, can you try out this song? Like, I'm like, all right. I mean, I don't know. From that day, I don't know. He did not like what he heard, so he's like, if you want, you could you could sing in choir. So I jump up in choir, and like that's how I started my like a whole thing with like that, my whole ministry with like worship. From there, I just committed because I enjoyed doing it.
Right.
Like, and after some time, it just became my world, man. Like it became everything to me. Before I knew it, I was backing up. Like I was a backup singer. Actually, that was like 2 weeks after that day.
Oh, wow.
I was a backup singer. And then the worship leader was finishing out high school. So he was transitioning. Yeah. So we had no worship leader. Right. So, you know, like that's what God has, God's timing is perfect,
it's perfect.
man. It's perfect. Because like I did not I mean, every person in my day, wanted so much to lead a song. Right. You get what I mean? I mean, kind of like people here think it's like something cool, like they thought it was cool, but I really wasn't really like interested in that, because for me, as long as I was like having fun with God, like, and I was leading, I felt like I was leading worship. That's all that mattered. Right. But before I knew it, we didn't have a worship leader. And this one day, my leader was like, "Hey, do you mind like try leading?" I'm like, okay. I step up, and I cannot tell you that I remember what happened next. Right. We just went through rehearsal, and it was amazing. Like it was amazing. Like it felt like I had been doing this for a long time, and but I believe it was because of my foundation. Yep, 100%. Because you might not have the best voice. I mean, I'd never thought of myself as a person who has like an amazing voice. I mean, a lot of people think I have an amazing voice, but to me, those days, I never really believed that. Right. But there's one thing I believed in: my relationship with God. It trumps everything. Right. Like it trumps everything. Right. So I was like, I might not have the best voice people would want to listen to, but I know they want what I have. Right. And I have Jesus. Right. So like, man, that's huge, man. That's my story in like my worship story. Right. In a compressed right. But like from that day, man, I've just fallen in love with worship. I just love to worship, man. I just like worship and it's as much as it's fun to worship alone, but it's like worshiping with a whole congregation of believers. Man, that is just so powerful. Right. Like if I could, I keep saying, like telling people, if that was all I had to do. Right. Like you wake up, you don't even have to sleep, but you wake up in the morning and all you have to do is worship and then go to sleep and then wake up and then worship. Like it's so powerful. I wish people knew the power of worship. Right. Like I really, really wish people knew the power of worship. Yeah. Yep. The church, Big C church, I'm not just saying this is a Shepherd thing. Like churches in America, especially, you know, worship music has become an industry and it's become just a thing that we do at church. And it's so unfortunate to see there's so many like amazingly talented church teams out there. And like, I can name a million right now who I'm like, they got the best sounding team in the world. And, you know, the one thing I've had the privilege of when I was doing my traveling and the music stuff is like, I've got to be a part of a lot of that stuff, but seeing the off the stage stuff that I'm like, yeah, you have really talented people and zero value for what worship really is. Yeah. And if we could get our heads out of this is just the Sunday morning thing we do, it has to sound like the record. This needs to be the most produced, beautiful sounding thing you've ever heard.
Now, don't get me wrong. Like, one of our values in our team is excellence, but not because we want people to think we're excellent. We want to be excellent because that's what the God we're worshiping deserves.
Yeah.
And there is such a stark difference on a team of okay talent that is on fire for Jesus than a team that is 100% the most talented thing you ever seen that could give a rip about worship. You know, because if you think about it, like when we look at heaven and like we look at what we're going to be doing for eternity, us worshiping here on earth is honestly, like, this might be too bold to say out loud, but like the closest thing we get to do here on earth that we're going to be doing in heaven. Like, that to me is the closest connection point between this earthly realm and the heavenly realm is when we're singing praises to the Lord, because that's literally what we're going to be doing for eternity.
Yeah.
And like, I jokingly say this all the time. It's like, I love when people say these songs are too repetitive. I'm like, you're going to hate heaven. You're going to hate it. Like, you think Waymaker is too repetitive. Wait till we get to heaven. We're just going to be singing holy, holy, holy is the Lord God Almighty for eternity.
But I feel like, have you been in a worship session and you just cannot stop singing this like one line?
Oh yeah.
Like
So many times.
Yeah, like I feel like for me that kind of gives me a glimpse of what heaven is gonna feel like or like sound like.
Yeah.
Because there've been times in my life where like in like worship sessions where there's this line that is just, I feel like it's just saying so much that I feel like I don't want to leave that part of a song. You get what I mean?
Oh yeah, 100%.
I just want to sing it over and over again, and I never get tired of it. But then there are some people who are like, man, we sang that too much. I'm like, were we in the same room? Like, were we really experiencing the same thing?
Right.
You get what I mean? But
and that's one of the hardest lines to walk in our jobs, right? As worship leaders, it's like we want to bring people into the presence of God, but also in a way that it's like we have to recognize at some point that it's like, all right, I'm trying to take you there. I'm trying to take you there, and you're just not going there.
Yeah.
And so like, you can't force people into a moment of worship.
Yeah.
Which I wish we could. You know, I wish there were so many times I'd just be like, you're standing on the edge of worship and I just want to push you over into the presence. But, you know, all we can do is invite people to come. And, you know, the Holy Spirit's a gentleman. I think, you know, that he is in the room constantly. You know, we read in scripture that he goes before us and he makes a way, and that where 2 or 3 are gathered, you know, he's there in our midst. So like, there's no denying, I think even scripturally, that when we just get in the room on Sunday, his presence is there waiting to do his thing. And so many times there's people that just don't, it's right there. It's right there.
Yeah. There's something that, a certain pastor friend of mine told me, like, I was just inquiring about like something that I was going through in my life. I'm like, I was about somebody. I'm like, man, this person just keeps doing this, and I don't like it. Like, how can I change it? Like, should I just keep praying for them to like to change? And then, but the person I was talking about was like really, really close to me, and this pastor told me, I don't think you should be praying that way. What you should be doing is live the life that you would want them to live. Like, live a life so pure that at some point they'll be like, I want what he has. You get, and now, why am I saying, like, why am I like telling you this? It's the same thing with like worship, like what you just talked about. I feel like we are supposed to live worship in a way that our congregation will want what we have. So we don't have to like kind of what you said, where sometimes you feel like you just want to like give him a little bit of a a little bit of a push.
Just a nudge.
It's because it's not easy it's not easy to bring people like to like a place of understanding or really, really experiencing worship.
Right. Because we never know what they've been through.
Yeah, we don't know that.
Right.
But I feel like we can leave we can live worship. We can live a life of worship to an extent that they will look at us. You know that scripture in the Bible in Matthew that says, I think is it Matthew 15:16 that says, let your light shine before all men that they may see your good deeds and praise your Father in heaven.
Right.
I feel like we're supposed to let our light shine so bright that the people who see us, that it would start influencing the actions of the people around us.
Right.
Same thing with worship. We're supposed to live a life of worship so deep, so intentional that the people around us will have no choice.
Right.
Like to an extent where it's contagious.
Yeah.
You get what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know, like sometimes I pray, like I make these prayers that I kind of like, I feel like if somebody heard me pray these things, they'll be like, you get what I mean? But I was like, I just want to live a life so intentional, so deep with God that it's contagious.
Yeah.
Like a life of worship that it's contagious. I just want, you get what I mean? Like, I just want to walk into the room where you don't have to say a word.
Yeah.
But it just radiates off of you.
Yes. Yeah.
Just like Moses in the Bible, where he went to meet with, where he went to meet with Jesus and with God, and when he came down,
he was glowing.
He was glowing. That the people could not even look at him. They had to put a veil over it.
Yeah.
Now, you get what I mean?
Yeah.
I want the glory of God to shine so strong, so bright off of me that it will be like contagious.
Yes.
Like it will be people would be drawn. Drawn. So
and that's the difference between a worship leader and a singer.
Exactly.
You know, when people hear the term or like the job title worship leader, they think like, oh, well, and yes, this is a part of it where you lead a team, you lead a congregation. A worship leader is somebody who leads a life of worship.
Yep.
That it's, what happens on Sunday morning is very important to the congregation. But the reality is what we're doing off of the platform every second, we're up there for 30 minutes at most on a Sunday morning. That is just the tiniest piece of what we do.
Yeah.
I want people to look at me when I'm in line at Walmart and upset because the line is too long and see that guy still loves Jesus. I want to have conversations. I want to have hard conversations with people that come out of love so that when we walk away, even if it's the toughest thing I've had to say in my entire life, people can walk away and say, I know they said that because they love me and they love Jesus.
Yeah.
It's a life of worship.
I like to believe that what we do on Sunday is a summary of how we've been living from Monday to Saturday or to Sunday.
Right.
It is a summary of you're telling a story. As you lead worship, you're telling a life story.
Right. Right.
You're telling your life story. And that's what makes worship deep and authentic.
Right.
Because it's what you have lived.
Right.
That's where that whole statement comes from. Like you cannot lead people to a place you've never been.
Right.
That's what we call a liar.
Yep.
You're lying to the people.
Yeah.
You get what I mean?
Exactly.
That's why you can have people saying pray and they're like the face is like they have this gloomy face because you get what I mean? Because worship is more action than words, than lyrics. You get what I mean?
Yep.
It is a life story. So we are telling our life story. And I love leading from that place of telling my story.
Yeah.
Let me tell you where I've been from since Monday. That's what I'm doing on Sunday.
Right. In the hardest thing that I had to learn for this, and I think, maybe, I don't know how long I've been doing it, but to me, I've been noticing it probably the past 2 or 3 years where I always thought that meant I had to come in and have the perfect Christian face, where it's like, hey, everybody, let's, come on in. It's Jesus time. And what I've learned is you can be authentic in worship and it not be bubbly, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
What really reminded me of this, I was just going through, if we're just being honest, you were there for it. I was in a season of ministry that was just hard. Like it was just hard and things were happening that I had no control over and I was questioning everything.
Yeah.
And then I had to get up on Sunday morning and be like, all right, everybody, let's happily praise the Lord. And in my heart, I'm like, I mean, I see God, I'm spending time with him, but I'm not feeling the happy, bubbly thing.
Yeah.
And what really woke me up, man, is like I started looking in scripture and the stories that really spoke to me about worship.
Yeah.
And most of them weren't the happy times. Like it wasn't the David dancing unashamed that stuck out to me the most. It was Paul and Silas when they were in the prison.
Yeah.
You know, when Job is just like lost everything and he's complaining, but he's still giving God praise. It's like these moments where even in the hardest times, they're like, this is terrible, but God, you are so good.
When David was being pursued by his own son.
Yes.
Those are the times that.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they still gave God praise. And it showed me that like worship and a lifestyle of worship is not just when everything is perfect. It's worship no matter what. That worship first, worship God just because he's God.
Yeah.
Even if my circumstances are terrible, he is still good and he deserves that worship.
It's not dependent on our circumstances.
Right.
It is still, we're supposed to worship either way.
Yep. And our circumstances are not an excuse to step away.
Yeah.
Yep. So many times.
I used to have that mindset a lot. Like every time things got hard, I'm like, man, I need to step away. But my leader always kind of told me like, hey, this is the best time.
Yep.
Remember, it is a story. Let me tell you about my life since Monday.
Yep.
You get what I mean?
Exactly.
It is a testimony. It is a story. Like, and once worship leaders understand this and start leading from that place, then our worship as a church is gonna change.
Yep. 100%.
Like it's gonna do a whole 180.
Yeah.
Like not even 180, 360.
Right.
It's gonna do a whole 360 because like that is a definition of worship, man. That is a definition of worship. We live it.
Yep.
We don't say it. We live it.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Yep. 100%. Well, I think that's a perfect place to end it because I think that is, for me, a challenge still to this day. And I think a challenge for all of us that, you know, worship is not just when things are good. Worship is not just a, you know, I'm feeling it today kind of a thing. Worship is a 24/7, 7 days a week, 365 days a year thing that we should do no matter what our circumstances is. He deserves our worship. So that's our challenge for you, man. You might be going through the hardest time in your life. You might be wondering, why should I even worship? It's because that's what we're created to do. That's what God put us on this earth to do, is to worship him regardless of our circumstances. And what I can say from experience, that no matter how bad our circumstances are, if you're worshiping through it, I promise you won't leave the same way that you went in. That's our challenge. We hope you have a great day.
This podcast is a production of the Shepherd Church of the Nazarene, Gahanna, Ohio. Email to podcast@shepnaz.org and let us know what you think.